Okay, welcome back to Trash Plays Marvel Champions. Today we are playing Citizen V using Blizzard, Fixer, and Radioactive Man as the Thunderbolt backup against Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier, and Sam Wilson, aka Falcon, or both of these have also been known as Captain America. So, the reason we are doing this is because, well, that's not what I was supposed to do. The reason we are doing this is because I want to play against both of the Thunderbolt backups, or the Thunderbolt minions that came with Bucky Barnes and Sam Wilson, and I also have not played against Radioactive Man yet, that came with the box Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So, let's do this. I am doing my first ever two-handed game, and I don't think that I have this set up ideally, but unfortunately I don't have anywhere else to film, so this is the best I can do. Let me know if this looks terrible, and let us begin. I'm going to draw my hand of 6 for Falcon, and let's see what we have. We have Aerial, Energy, Strength and Diversity, Red Wing, Birds of Prey, and Power of Flight. Do I want to mulligan anything? I have Power of Flight to pay for a Aerial card, and I have energy to pay for some other stuff. I have my Red Wing. Birds of Prey is an event to deal damage. Oh no, I'm not in I'm not in hero form yet, so I can't do that yet. I can mulligan Strength and Diversity. I think I won't be using that just yet, and probably I don't think I'm going to be using my Birds of Prey, and I don't think I need to play Aerial. I kind of want to fish for a team building exercise, and I did not get a team building exercise. I did get 2 ups and away, which is not what I want to see, so that's unfortunate. This is a defense event, and I'm not defending yet. So, let us use Sam Wilson's ability. Action, discard a card from your hand, search your deck and discard pile for a bird card, and add it to your hand, limit once per round. I'm going to discard an up, and away to search for Falcon's Flock, which is a bird card. It is a 2-cost support. Aerial bird uses 5 bird counters, resource reserve, remove 1 bird counter from here, generate a lightning resource, energy resource for an aerial card, limit once per card. Now, that is important to note that it is not once per round, so I can do this multiple times in a round to pay for multiple things. So this is going to come into play with 5, and I'm probably going to use one of them this turn for something. Let us now flip over to Falcon, and as Falcon, during the player phase, play with the top card of the encounter deck face up. And he has Eagle-Eyed response. After you play an aerial card, discard a top card of the encounter deck, which I probably should have played Falcon's Flock first, but that's okay. Not that big a deal. Let's use the Power of Flight. This generates double the number of resources for an aerial card, so this generates 2 for my Red Wing. 2 cost ally, 1 Thwart, 1 attack, 2 HP, Aerial Avenger Bird, so I will discard the top of the encounter deck because I just played an aerial card. And I can exhaust Red Wing, return him to my hand, and discard the top of the encounter deck to choose to either deal X damage to an enemy or remove X threats from a scheme where X is the number of boost or icons in the discarded card's boost area. So this is going to be a boost of 2. I actually have nothing else to pay for, so you know what? I think maybe what I will do is do Red Wing's ability, return him to my hand, discard the top card of the encounter deck, and then deal 2 damage. Yeah, I think I'm going to deal 2 damage to Blizzard. I kind of want to rush them down as soon as possible. So Blizzard is going to take 2. Then I can use my energy to play Red Wing again. I've played an aerial card, so I can now discard the top of the encounter deck, and the new card is another 2 boost. I can return Red Wing back into my hand, and then play Red Wing again using another 2 cards to Falcon can discard another card. This is not once per round, by the way. I can just do this every time I play an aerial card. So I'm going to discard another card from the top of the deck, and that's going to be Dark Designs, which is exactly what I want. What I want is for Pursued by the Past to actually activate so I can put out more minions onto the board for reasons. So let's have Red Wing now. Just in case Radioactive Man attacks, I don't want to have Red Wing take a point of damage so they can survive, because Radioactive Man has Villainous, Victory 1, Force Response. After Radioactive Man activates against you, deal 1 damage to each character you control, so I want Red Wing to stay alive after that, so I think I'm just going to have Falcon thwart the main scheme for 2. And the reason I'm not having him attack Blizzard is because when you attack a Thunderbolt minion, you have to engage that minion, so then Blizzard would be engaged with Falcon, and I don't know what Bucky Barnes is going to do yet. So that's going to be the end for Falcon. By the way, the reason that I want to rush down Blizzard is because they have 1 scheme, 2 attacks, 16 HP, Elite Thunderbolt, Villainous, Victory 1, and Force Response. After Blizzard attacks a character, search the encounter deck and discard pile for an Encased in Ice, and attach it to that character, shuffle, otherwise stun the attacked character. So I really don't want Blizzard to attack. I don't know what Encased in Ice does, but that doesn't sound good. As for Fixer, they are a 2 scheme, 1 attack, 15 HP, Elite Genius Thunderbolt, Villainous, Victory 1. Force response after a non-scenario specific tech attachment would be attached to the villain. Attach the would-be attached card. Wait, attach it to Fixer instead. Text on that card that refers to the villain refers to Fixer instead. So that's kind of a weird thing to have as an Elite Thunderbolt minion that could work with the Citizen V fight, because there are no other tech cards as far as I'm aware. But it is a fun thing in general to use as a standalone scenario. I think it would be fun to put him with Iron Man with a bunch of other scenarios or modular encounter sets that also have tech cards. That way Iron Man is generally the one getting the tech cards until Fixer comes out, and then it's like, now they're fighting over the tech. I think that might be kind of fun, so just a random thought. Anyways, so drawing our hand of 6 for Bucky Barnes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are looking at Target Spotter, Clobber. Oh, I have heavily modified Bucky Barnes deck because a lot of it was just dealing with like if you defeat a minion. But there is nothing to defeat besides the Thunderbolts, aside from Jolt. So I've heavily modified the deck. Target Spotter, I think it's going to be kind of crucial. It is a 1-cost support, uses 2 target counters, interrupt when a minion would engage a player, remove 1 counter from tier that minion cannot activate until the end of the phase, engage that minion. There are cards in Citizen V's fight that will be like, find Fixer and engage him, and then he activates against you, so this would counter that. As well as the fact that both Falcon and Bucky Barnes have Quick Strike in their Nemesis sets, and I'm trying to activate Pursued by the Past, which will bring out the Nemesis set. So what do I want to discard? I don't need Silent Infiltration. This activates after I defeat an enemy. I do need my Cybernetic Arm, but I don't want to have it in my opening hand because I can pay for it from the graveyard. Let's keep the Power of Aggression to pay for Clobber. Firepower I don't need. Target Spotter I want to keep. So let's discard these 3, and then draw another set of 3 cards. Firepower, don't need that. Deathlock, and Metal Punch. Okay, let's discard the Firepower, use Bucky Barnes' ability, Cybernetically Enhance. Action, spend 1 resource of any type, search your deck and discard power for Cybernetic Arm, and put it into play. Cybernetic Arm is a 1-cost upgrade to item tech resource. Exhaust Cybernetic Arm, generate a wild resource for an attack event. That event deals an additional 1 damage. We can now flip Bucky Barnes over to hero form. I am a 2/2/2 with a hand size of 5, hit points 11, Lethal Protector. After you attack and defeat an enemy, remove 2 threats from a scheme. So let's use the Power of Aggression to pay for Clobber. Oh, no. This is the first card I played this turn because I used my ability to put out Cybernetic Arm. So Clobber says deal 3 damage to an enemy. If this is the first card you have played this round, I did not play Cybernetic Arm. Yeah, Bucky Barnes just put Cybernetic Arm into play. So this is the first card I played this round. Return this card to your hand. So Clobber comes back into my hand, and I get to deal another 3 damage to Blizzard. And then I would really like to play Deathlock and Metal Punch, but I really want to put the Target Spotter out here. So then I won't be able to afford either of these. So I think I'm going to use Deathlock to pay for Target Spotter to keep myself safe. This comes into play with 2 counters, and then I'm going to use my Cybernetic Arm and Metal Punch to pay for Clobber, and because I used my Cybernetic Arm, this deals 1 more damage, so this is going to deal 4 damage to Blizzard. Additionally, as Winter Soldier, I think I am just going to attack Blizzard to deal another 2 damage, so he is up to 11 damage out of 16. Not enough to be dead, unfortunately. So that's going to be the end of the player's phase, so now we draw back our hand size of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if there are any defense events in our hands. Bird's Eye View, Vibranium Microwave, there's my team building exercise, no defensive events, and then for Winter Soldier, I have Arm Block. I do have a defense event, and I have plenty to pay for it with. Okay, so the main scheme is going to get 2, 1 per player. Citizen V is going to activate against Falcon first, because he's the first player at the moment. Citizen V will heal instead, followed by Fixer attacking Falcon. Falcon is probably just going to take this. I don't see why I would block a 1 attack at the moment. So let's just take this. He's attacking for 1 plus the Dark Designs. So that's going to be 1 damage, and then 1 counter gets put on Pursued by the Past. That is it for Fixer, followed by Citizen V activating against Winter Soldier. He's just going to heal. And then Blizzard is going to attack Winter Soldier, and unfortunately Blizzard's effect will go off, but let's see what happens first. I am going to use my Cybernetic Arm to pay for Arm Block. Hero Interrupt attack defense. When an enemy attacks, deal 3 damage to it. So they're going to take the 3 damage first, because this is when they attack, not after they attack. And then if I exhausted Cybernetic Arm to pay for this event, prevent all damage from this enemy's attack. Wait a minute. I get to deal 4 damage because of Cybernetic Arm, so this brings it up to 15 out of 16 damage. Not enough to defeat Blizzard, unfortunately. So I also get to prevent auto damage from this attack, so they're attacking for 2 plus 2, that's going to be 4, but nothing happens. But then Blizzard activates. After Blizzard attacks a character, search the encounter deck and discard pile for Encased in Ice and attach it to that character, so I guess I'm going to find out what Encased in Ice does. Encased in Ice. Attached to your identity. Attached character cannot attack enemies other than this card. Wow, that sucks. Any player can attack this card as if it were a minion. If there is 3 or more damage here, move all but 3 here to attached character and discard this card. Attached to your identity. I cannot attack enemies other than this card. Okay. Any player can attack this card as if it were a minion. If there is 3 or more damage here, move all but 3 damage here to the attached character. Okay, so basically I am encased in ice, so I'm trying to break free by attacking the ice. Other people can attack the ice to break me free. However, if we attack it too hard, we will break through the ice and attack the character underneath. That's kind of bad. I would really rather have that on Falcon, because I want Winter Soldier to be attacking, but sure. Then we deal face down cards, 1 to Falcon, 1 to Winter Soldier, and we reveal in that order. First one is going to be Nowhere is Safe. Place 1 pursuit counter on pursuit out of past. Then if it has any counters on it, discard an upgrade you control. Upgrade or support you control. Oh, that's so bad. I'm going to have to discard my Falcon's Flock. I didn't even get to use my Falcon's Flock. I hated that. This is not off to a great start. But then we move on to Bucky Barnes, the Coming Storm. When revealed, each player engages each minion engaged with the player clockwise from them. So now we swap minions, which is fun because we finally get to see this actually happen, because I've been playing solo so far, so when this gets revealed, this literally does nothing aside from giving me +1 card every turn. And this comes into play with 4. Now it is the end of the villain phase, so Thunderbolt Backup is going to activate and swap with the most damaged character. And so Blizzard is now going to be underneath the backup, and they are going to heal for 1. I am only playing in Standard, not Expert, so they heal for 1. And then the first player token switches over to Winter Soldier, and now it is my turn. Okay, so let's use... I don't have a weapon, so I can't use Firepower, and I only have Spider-Girl as far as cards I can play, unfortunately, and I won't have enough to attack through the Encased in Ice to defeat the... Yeah, that sucks. Oh, my Cybernetic Arm is not a weapon, and it's also exhausted at the moment, so I can't even use Firepower with that. Never mind. I guess I'll just pay 2 for Spider-Girl. Spider-Girl is a 2-cost ally, 2 HP, 1 thwart, 1 attack. Response after you play Spider-Girl from your hand, stun and confuse a minion. So I'm going to stun and confuse Radioactive Man so he doesn't get the attack off on Falcon. I guess I'll just have Winter Soldier attack the Encased in Ice, start breaking out of that. And then Red Wing could attack the Encased in Ice and break Winter Soldier free, because Red Wing has exactly 1 attack. That could work. So I will discard my Firepower because I still can't use this, and I'm going to keep the energy in my hand. Spider-Girl is going to, I think, attack and defeat Blizzard. Blizzard is currently at 14 out of 16, so I don't see any reason why Spider-Girl can't attack Blizzard and defeat Blizzard. So deal 2 damage to Blizzard. And then Blizzard is going to be defeated. Because the Encased in Ice says you cannot attack enemies other than this card, it doesn't say anything about allies. So Blizzard is defeated and goes into victory display. That's going to be the end of Bucky Barnes' turn, and now it is going to be Falcon's turn. Falcon is going to... Let's play the team building exercise for one thing. Yeah, if I use Triskelion and Bird's Eye View, I can play team building exercise, and in team building exercise won't allow me to play anything else, never mind. I would like to play Adam Warlock, but I really want that team building exercise. Actually, I think I want my Vibranium Microwave more. I have 3 team building exercises in this deck, so I don't need this one right away. So let's use a team building exercise and Adam Warlock to pay for Vibranium Microwave, and then I can pay for the Triskelion, I guess. So let's do that. Get my Vibranium Microwave out and my Triskelion. My Triskelion gives me +1 ally limit, and my Vibranium Microwave gives me +1 defense, and As a hero interrupt, when Falcon would take any amount of damage, exhaust Vibranium Microwave to prevent one of that damage and deal 1 damage to an enemy. So then I'm going to have Red Wing attack the Encased in Ice to destroy the Encased in Ice. Radioactive Man won't be able to activate this turn, so I'm going to be safe as far as that goes. So I guess Falcon will just thwart 2 more from the main scheme because I don't want to engage another minion. Oh, wait, no, I suppose I should be thwarting the Coming Storm. I completely forgot about the Coming Storm. Oh, I get to see the top of the encounter deck. That's going to be a 3 boost. I should have done something with that, but too late now. I guess... yeah, let's have Falcon thwart the Coming Storm instead of the main scheme. So that's going to be down to 2, but I'm still going to get +1 card this round. So that's going to be the end of our turns. Draw back up to our hand size. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No defense events for Bucky Barnes. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Falcons. No defense events, but I do have my aerial evacuation, which is good. So, main scheme is going to get 2. Citizen V is going to activate against Bucky Barnes first, so he's just going to heal. Fixer is then going to activate 1 attack plus the boost of 3, so that's going to be 4 damage, and I can't really do anything about that. I could actually have Bucky... oh no, I can have Falcon exhaust to defend Winter Soldier, actually. Yeah, that's a way better idea. So Fixer is going to attack for 4, boosting for 3. So that 4 minus 2 is going to be 2. But then I'm going to exhaust my Vibranium Microwave to... sorry, oh no, wait, I have 3 defense. So 4 minus 3 is 1. And then I'm going to exhaust the Vibranium Microwave to prevent 1 of that damage and deal 1 damage to an enemy. That damage I'm going to deal is going to be to Radioactive Man because I don't like Radioactive Man. He is going to... I don't want him attacking. I want to burst him down next. So Fixer has no other abilities. So now it is... Falcon's turn to deal with stuff. Citizen V is still going to heal, and then Radioactive Man is going to activate, getting rid of the stunned. And then we deal face-down cards. So first it's going to be Winter Soldier, then it's going to be Falcon, and then we deal 1 more card. So this comes back to Winter Soldier. So the first card... yeah, I think I'm doing this right. So the first card is going to be tap in. Engage the Thunderbolt minion with the least damage that is not engaged with you. So that's going to be Radioactive Man. And then Radioactive... and then... that minion activates against you. If no minion activated this way, Citizen V activates against you. So I don't want Radioactive Man to activate against me, so I'm going to use my target spotter to make it so they cannot activate until the end of the phase, and I engage that minion, but I have already engaged with them. So because they have not activated, Citizen V will activate, but that's okay, because I'm the one taking this damage instead of Spider-Girl taking a damage as well, defeating Spider-Girl. So let's see what Citizen V does. Does Winter Soldier want to block? Actually, I suppose Spider-Girl is unexhausted. I can have Spider-Girl block. Yeah, let's just have Spider-Girl block. So Citizen V is attacking for 2 plus a star of take 2 indirect damage. So the indirect... ah, man, that... either way, I'm taking 2 damage. Okay, so 2 damage comes onto me. And then Spider-Girl is going to be defeated by Citizen V. I don't know in what order we reveal the cards, because I have 2 cards. Do I reveal all my cards first, and then we do Falcon's card, or do we just reveal in the order that they were revealed? I'm not too certain, but I'm going to assume that I reveal all my cards first. So let's do the next card. This is Whiteout. Find Blizzard and reveal him. If he's already in play, he engages you, but he's in the victory display, so I don't find him. Blizzard activates against you if no enemy activated this way. This card gains Surge, so we surge into down but not out. When revealed, choose a random Thunderbolt minion from the victory display and reveal it. Okay. Place damage on that minion until it has 5 hit points remaining. So they have 5 HP, so I place 11 damage onto them. Then remove this card from the game. If no minion entered this way, this card gains Surge. So Blizzard does not activate against me in this case. So I don't need to use up a charge on target spotter. So then we move on to Falcon's card. Falcon's card is Red Room Programming. This is the Bucky... wow! This is the turn to screw over Bucky Barnes. Red Room Programming. Give to the Bucky Barnes player. You may flip to alter ego form. Choose to either exhaust Bucky Barnes to remove this card from the game, or discard the highest printed card from your hand and take indirect damage equal to its cost. That's Winter Armor, and I want to keep Winter Armor. I want to play their Winter Armor, so I'm gonna flip over to Bucky Barnes, and I'm going to exhaust Bucky Barnes to remove this from the game. Yeah. Okay, so this is removed from the game. So now we are at the end of the villain phase, so then Blizzard is gonna be put on the Thunderbolt backup, healing for 1. Followed by flipping the first player token, so now Falcon is the first player, and now it is my turn to do stuff. player phase begins, so I can see the top of the encounter deck. Let's keep that in mind, and there's a 3 boost right there, and we should do something with that. Let's use Red Wing to return Red Wing to my hand, discard the top of the encounter deck, and I'm going to deal 3 damage to Blizzard. So Blizzard is going to take 3 damage. This is not an attack, so I don't engage them. I don't think Cybernetic Arm should be exhausted. I'm fairly certain they should not be exhausted. So then I am going to play Red Wing with the power of flight. Red Wing comes into play. I can discard the top of the encounter deck, but I don't think I'm going to. Yeah, let's use 2 for a team building exercise, and then I'm going to use my team building exercise to pay for aerial evacuation. Aerial evacuation is a 1 cost upgrade. Aerial preparation. Hero interact when another friendly character would be dealt any amount of damage. Discard aerial evacuation, prevent all that damage, and change to alter ego form. If that character is a hero, they also change to alter ego form. So this is something that sticks around and I can use at any time. So that's going to be it for me. No, you know what? I'm going to bring Red Wing back into my hand. I can't play them, but I'm going to discard the top of the encounter deck to thwart 2 from the coming storm, so this is now thwarted out, so we don't have to deal with another encounter card every turn, and I'm just going to keep Red Wing in my hand. So now it is Bucky Barnes' turn. I think I am just going to flip over right away to... Yeah, I don't see any reason why I shouldn't flip over right away to Winter Soldier, and then let's... Okay, I can use my shield sidearm to pay for Man on the Wall. Man on the Wall, I can only play if I have the Soldier trait, which I do. Hero action, exhaust Man on the Wall, reduce the cost to play the next card you play this phase by 1 for each minion engaged with me. There are 2 minions engaged with me, so I'm going to exhaust this to reduce the next card I play by 2. So then I will play the Winter Armor, which gives me plus 3 hit points, and I gain Steady. Unfortunately, I don't really have anything else to play, so I guess I'll use my energy to pay for another target spotter, and that's going to be the end of my turn. So now everything unexhaust, and we draw back our hand sizes of 5. Falcon draws 4 more cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. And no defense events that I need to worry about. Followed by Bucky Barnes with probably also no defense events to worry about. Yeah, no defense events. So I don't need to look at my hands when I'm considering my turn. So main scheme is going to get 2. Citizen V is going to activate against Falcon, and I have no Thunderbolt minions engaged with me, so Citizen V will actually activate. He's attacking for 2. I am going to... I don't really feel the need to attack with Falcon, so I'm just going to defend for 2, and then let's see what this boost is. Boosting for 2, I'm going to exhaust my Vibranium Microwave to prevent 1 of that damage, so I take 1 damage, and I can deal 1 damage to any other target that is going to go onto Blizzard. That's it for Falcon's turn. Citizen V now activates against Winter Soldier, but he's just going to heal instead because I am engaged with Thunderbolt minions. So then Fixer is going to attack. He's attacking for 1 plus a boost. I am going to just take this. So he's attacking for 1 plus a boost. You are stunned. If you were already stunned, take 1 damage. That sucks. So I'm now stunned and I take 2 damage. And then Radioactive Man is going to attack. I'm automatically going to take 1 damage from Radioactive Man's attack. And do I want to defend? I am stunned. I would like to get rid of that stunned. How am I going to get rid of this stunned? I guess I could just attack. I have the hit points. I can just take this. But I think I want to use the Electrical Discharge to stun Radioactive Man next turn instead. So I am just going to take this hit. So Radioactive Man is attacking for 2 plus 2. That's going to be 4 more damage. I'm up to 9. Now we deal face down cards, first to Falcon, then to me. First card for Falcon is Tap In. When revealed, engage the Thunderbolt minion with the least damage that is not engaged with you. That minion activates against you. Least damage is going to be Fixer, activating against Falcon. And unfortunately, if I use a target spotter, Citizen V will activate against me instead, so I am just going to let Fixer attack me. I cannot block this. I could use aerial evacuation, actually. I could have used it for Bucky Barnes, but too late now. So, Fixer is attacking for 1 plus star. After this activation resolves, place 1 boost or counter on Pursued by the Past, so I take 1 more damage. And then for Bucky Barnes, it is going to be Dark Designs. When revealed, place 1 Pursued counter on Pursued by the Past. Then if it has any counters on it, the Villain Schemes. However, this will be the 4th... No, wait, no, I need 5 counters because of 2-player. 1 player is 4, 2 player is going to be 5. So Dark Designs does make it so that Citizen V will scheme for 2 plus 3. That's going to be 5 on the main scheme, bringing it up to 11. However, I am playing multiplayer, 2 players, So the main scheme can go up to 22. Now it is the end of the round, so Blizzard is going to heal for 1. And first player is going to flip over to Bucky Barnes. And I think that's it. So Bucky Barnes is going to attack to get rid of the stunned. And I will be exhausted, unfortunately. But then I can use my cybernetic arm and my winter rifle to pay for electrical discharge. Deal 4 damage to an enemy. If I use the lightning, which I did, using my cybernetic arm, I get to stun that enemy. So I'm going to deal 4 damage to Radioactive Man, and they are now stunned. Followed by using my Man on the Wall to reduce the next card I play, discard by 1, the Power of Aggression, and Target Spotter to pay for Captain America. So Captain America has toughness, they come into play with a tough card, and after Captain America enters play, ready a shield character. Yeah, ready a shield character, so that's going to ready Winter Soldier. Normally, I would keep Captain America's tough around to jump block with so he can block twice. However, I don't have enough to attack Blizzard and defeat Blizzard this turn. So, I'm going to use Captain America to attack Blizzard. This will take care of the tough on Captain America, and he will be exhausted to deal 2 damage to Blizzard, bringing them up to 15 out of 16. And then Winter Soldier is going to attack Blizzard, which will defeat Blizzard once again, putting them into victory display once more. And because I have attacked and defeated an enemy, I can remove 2 threats from my scheme, so the main scheme is going to go back down to 9. Okay, that was good. I think that was a good turn. Oh wait, I'm steady. I didn't even need to... Oh, I need to keep that... Okay, I could have done that way better because I'm steady. Wait a minute. No, this is not a thing. This is not a thing I can do. Okay, so wait a minute. Captain America is tough. My first attack would have dealt 2 damage to... Captain America could have dealt the 2 damage instead to Blizzard. That Captain America did. Winter Soldier could have done the 2 damage instead because I'm stunned, but I'm steady. So the stun is still on me. And then Winter Soldier would have attacked, dealing the 2 damage. I would have been exhausted. Then I played Captain America. That would unexhaust Winter Soldier, and then Winter Soldier could attack again, doing what I just did to defeat Blizzard. So yeah. That's what would have happened. So I still have the stunned, but I need 1 more stun to be stunned. Okay, so now it is Falcon's turn. I forgot that I should be playing with the top card of the deck face up. I don't want Sinister Strike to be the boost because this does not put a counter on Pursued by the Past. So what do I want to do instead? Oh, I can play the Aerial Recon. Wait a minute. Okay, this is an aerial card. I'm going to use my team building exercise to play Aerial Recon because I want this to activate. I'm going to use I'm going to play Aerial Recon. This is going to hero action, exhaust Aerial Recon to deal a player a face down encounter card. So Sinister Strike will no longer be the boost. This is now going to be the card that is dealt to me. And I get to place a counter here, and I can remove a counter here next time a player would be dealt an encounter card to prevent that card from being dealt. So next turn, I could just prevent myself from being dealt an encounter card. So now this is the card that will be revealed, so I can know that Pursued by the Past will activate, so there's more minions for Winter Soldier to kill. After that, let us use 2 more for another team building exercise. This is not 1 per player, and I suppose in this case I might as well just use the team building exercise. No, I don't have enough to play Red Wing. I guess Red Wing would just be stuck in my hand for one more turn. That feels kind of bad. Yeah, that feels kind of bad, but whatever. That's okay. It's a 1 boost on top, so that's going to be the end of the player phase. So drawing back up to 5. I have a lot of resources, and then everything unexhausts. No defense events in anyone's hands, but I do have my aerial evacuation. I gotta keep that in mind. So then it is the villain's phase. This is gonna get 2, bringing it back up to 11, and then Citizen V activates against Winter Soldier. He doesn't do anything because I have a minion, so Radioactive Man activates, the stun goes away. Citizen V heals against Falcon. Fixer attacks his Falcon. I'm just going to take the 2 damage because I know it's a boost of 1. So Fixer activates, dealing 2 damage to Falcon. No, 1 damage because I'm going to exhaust my Vibranium Microwave. And then I get to deal 1 damage to an enemy. That's going to be Radioactive Man. And then that's the end of enemy activations. Now we deal face down cards. First card goes to Bucky Barnes. Second card goes to me, but I'm going to activate my Aerial Recon to not deal myself another card. So then the first player gets Harlem's Protector, gives it Sam Wilson player, uses 3 emergency counters, victory 0. And this gives me +1 card every turn, which really sucks. And Alter Ego action, spend 1 resource of any type to remove 1 emergency. Wow, really? I only get to remove 1? So I have to spend 3 cards from my hand to get rid of this in Alter Ego form. That's so bad. Okay. Well, anyways, Now that we have done that, so I guess this is the screw over Falcon turn this time. Now that we have done that, we are going to reveal the Sinister Strike. Place 1 counter on Pursued by the Past. If it has any counters, they attack me. However, this is the 5th counter, activating the Pursued by the Past, putting out Falcon's Nemesis cards. So, Falcon will now reveal... Let us move these guys over. Falcon will now reveal Viper. This is a 2/2/5 with Quick Strike, so I'm going to spend my target spotter so that they cannot activate this phase, and I will now engage Viper. We'll also reveal the Serpent Solutions, and then these 3 cards will get shuffled into the encounter deck. Serpent Solutions is, wow, it comes into play with 6. Force Interrupt. After a Serpent Society minion is discarded from the top of the encounter deck, deal that minion to the first player as a face-down encounter card. After a Serpent Solution minion is discarded, deal that minion to the first player as a face-down encounter card. So I guess I could use Aerial Evacuation if I really wanted to not get dealt that, but I'd rather just sort this out. Does Viper have anything else? Force Response. After Viper activates, discard the top 5 cards of the encounter deck. That kind of sucks, but he's going to be pretty easy to kill. So now it is the end of the villain phase. First player token flips. Thunderbolt backup activates, putting Radioactive Man onto the Thunderbolt backup and healing 1 from Radioactive Man. Falcon is now the first player, so we can see the top of the encounter deck. I do not want that to be a boost, so I should try to get rid of that somehow, and I'm going to be dealt 1 card every round, so I should think about getting rid of Harlem's Protector as well. Let's use Bird of Prey to pay for Red Wing, at the very least. This will Power Flight to pay for Red Wing, to discard the top of the encounter deck when I use Falcon Sting, and that is a 1 boost Rumbling Thunder. Now I gotta figure out what I want to do. What do I want to do? I have Bird of Prey, deal 4 damage to an enemy, I can discard the top. I can just kill Viper with Falcon. Yeah, let's just use my Genius for Birds of Prey. Attack, deal 4 damage to an enemy. You may discard the top of the encounter deck to deal 1 additional damage to the enemy for each boost icon in the boost area. So this is 1, so I could deal 5 damage to Viper, which will defeat Viper. Last card in my hand is Hugin and Moonin, and I cannot pay for Hugin and Moonin, but I can see the top of the encounter deck. That's going to be Advertisement. I might as well use Red Wing, bring Red Wing back into my hand to discard the top of the encounter deck, and I'm going to thwart 1 from the Serpent Society. Then I can use a team building exercise to discard Hugin and Moonin to put out Red Wing again. I get to see the top of the encounter deck, and I am going to discard that 3 boost. Unless I want to just bring Red Wing back into my hand and use it as a 3... You know what? Let's do that. I'm going to bring Red Wing back into my hand and remove 3 from the Serpent Solution, so now it's down to 2. And that's going to be... No. And then Falcon is going to thwart 2 from the Serpent Solutions to completely thwart it out. And that's going to be the end of Falcon's turn. Red Wing is still stuck in my hand, and Harlem Protect... Oh, I can... Well, I don't want that Serpent Solution to be a boost. That's a terrible boost. So you know what? Let's deal this to myself as an encounter card with Aerial Recon. And now let's see what the new top card is, and that's a 2 boost, but that's fine-ish. Actually, no, wait, this is a fine boost. Boost, give the activating enemy an additional boost card. This is actually a better boost, because then they're effectively still boosting for a random amount. This does not give them 2 boost cards. And it doesn't have any boost icons. So this is effectively a just give them the next boost. Huh. That's an interesting card. 1, 2, 3, Quick Strike. But that's the end of Falcon's turn. I think I'm still going to be keeping Captain America around to block the jump block. So I'm going to use Winter Soldier to attack Fixer, which will engage Fixer with Winter Soldier. Then I'm going to use the Man on the Wall and a Strength to pay for Bambino. This attaches to a shield character. I'm going to attach it to myself. And it uses 3 ammo counters. When I make a basic attack, I can remove 1 ammo counter from here to deal 3 additional damage, and this attack deals overkill. So that is going to be on Winter Soldier. Followed, I guess, by using the Cybernetic Arm and Silent Infiltration to pay for Electrical Discharge, deal 4 damage to an enemy, and I get to stun that enemy. I will deal 4 damage to... I would like to stun Radioactive Man, to be completely honest, but I don't want him activating. So I guess I'll deal the 4 damage to Fixer, and Fixer will now be stunned. And that's going to be the end of my turn. Shield Sidearm is still in my hand, and I will just discard this. No, you know what? Let's keep it around. I think I still have a Firepower in my graveyard. No, never mind. There's 3 firepowers in my graveyard. So I will not have the ability to use firepower for a bit, so I don't need any weapons. Let's just discard the shield sidearm. That's going to be the end of the player phase, everything unexhaust, and I am going to draw back my hands of 5. To make the calls, practice plan and a battlefield awareness for Falcon, and Metal Punch, Shield Sidearm, Combat Training, Clobber, and Winter Mask for Winter Soldier. Okay, this is going to be a good turn. No defense events though. Gotta keep in mind that I have the aerial evacuation, but that's okay. I highly doubt that anyone's going to be activating anything major this turn. I suppose Citizen V will be attacking Falcon. Citizen V will be attacking Falcon. I gotta keep that in mind. Alright, so the main scheme is going to get 2. Citizen V is going to attack Falcon. Falcon is going to defend this, so because he's attacking for 2 plus 2, that's going to be 4, and I have 3 defense. So I will block 3 of that, and I'm going to exhaust the Vibranium Microwave to prevent 1 of that damage, and put 1 on the Radioactive Man instead. Followed by nothing else happening, and Fixer will now try to attack Winter Soldier, but he is stunned, so the stun will go away. Now we deal face down cards, and this is where things get interesting, because I have Harlem's Protector, which gives +1 card every round. So the first card goes to Falcon, and I'm going to use my Aerial Recon to prevent 1 card from being dealt to me. Then the second card goes to Winter Soldier, and then the third card goes to Falcon, and then things get messy. Let's see what happens now. Let us reveal the first card, which I already knew was going to be Serpent Soldier. It's a 1/2/3 with Quick Strike, so I will take 2 damage from this Quick Strike. I'm okay with that, because I have 10 HP. Followed by the second card being Citizen V Sword. When revealed, attached to Citizen V, he activates against you. Okay, see, now things get tricky, because this gives him +1 scheme and +1 attack. After you attack and damage Citizen V, spend 2 physical resources to discard this card, but I doubt that's going to happen. So he's attacking for 3, and he's going to boost. I don't want to... I think I will have to have Winter Soldier block this, and I'm going to use my Aerial Evacuation to switch us both to Alter Ego form. So, Winter Soldier is now exhausted, and Aerial Evacuation goes away, and it prevents all damage that would be dealt from this attack, and we are switched to Alter Ego form, to both of us, because we are both heroes. However, he still does get a boost card, so he's attacking for 3 plus star. Give the activating enemy an additional boost card, that's okay. So the next boost card is going to be Boost. If this activation is an attack, it gains piercing, but it deals no damage, so that's okay. And there is 1 card left in the encounter deck. So that's interesting. We're finally getting to the point where the encounter deck is empty. I thought that we'd get to this point sooner, but because we're playing with 2 people and it goes down twice as fast, but apparently that did not happen. Although we do shuffle in 5 more cards for every player, so that makes up for it, I guess. Now we flip over the Sinister Strike. When revealed in Alter Ego form, place 1 pursuit counter on Pursuit of the Past, then if it has any counters on it, this card gains Surge. And unfortunately, the Surge card is the last card. Techno. When revealed, find Fixer and reveal him. He is here. If he's already in play, he engages you. Fixer activates against you. If no enemy activated this way, this card gains Surge, so Fixer is going to scheme. But the deck is now empty, so the main scheme gets an acceleration icon. So the scheme deck has been shuffled. Fixer is scheming for 2 plus a 3 boost, of course. So that is going to put 5 on the main scheme, bringing it up to 18, which is the max this counter actually goes up to, so I should probably start thwarting this. Because it's going to get +3 next turn, so it's going to bring it up to 21, and it can only go up to 22. Now it is the end of the round, so the villain, or the Thunderbolt minion with the most damage gets placed here, but they have the same amount of damage, so nothing happens, and then they heal from 1. First player token flips over to Bucky Barnes, and now it's my turn. I don't really have anything I want to do in Alter Ego form, so I think I might just want to flip over. So let's go back to hero form. And as the first card I am playing this round, I am going to play Clobber with a Metal Punch and and Winter Mask. No, wait, I have no other attack events I want to play this turn, so I'll just use the Metal Punch and my Cybernetic Arm to pay for the Clobber. And because this is the first card I played this turn, this comes back into my hand. I get to deal 3 damage to an enemy. I'm going to deal the 3 damage to the Serpent Soldier. Because I defeated an enemy, I now get to remove 2 threats from a scheme, so this is going to go back down to 16. Yeah, let's use 2 Winter Mask and Combat Training to play Clobber again, dealing 3 damage to Fixer. And then I will exhaust a mana on the wall to reduce the cost of the next card I play by 1 for each minion engaged with me. That is 1, so now I get to play my Shield Sidearm for free, putting it onto Winter Soldier. And I completely forgot that Captain America is there. I could have had Captain America block instead. Oh, that would have been a way better idea. I gotta keep that in mind. So, that's going to be the end of the Winter Soldier's turn, and now it is Falcon's turn. And I have the opportunity to use my Harlem's Protector to get rid of... well, Harlem's Protector, because this is not once per phase. I can just spend 1 resource of any type to remove 1 energy counter from here. Or to remove 1 emergency counter from here. So do I want to do that? I have 2 Make the Calls, a Battlefield Awareness. Battlefield Awareness is an aerial card, so I can use my team building exercise to help pay for it using Practice Plan. And then Red Wing with another Make the Call. Oh, I don't get to see the top of the deck, actually. Actually, you know what? Let's just deal with the fact that we have to deal with more cards every round. I'm going to use Sam Wilson's ability to discard a card. I'm going to discard and Make the Call to search my graveyard for an aerial card, for a bird card, my bad, and add it to my hand. And that bird card is going to be the Falcon's Flock. So now I can actually use the Falcon's Flock, hopefully, if I get to pay for it. So let's use 2 Make the Call and Practice Plan to play Falcon's Flock. This once again comes into play with 5, and I can use 1 counter per card to pay for 1 resource for it. No, wait, when Falcon uses a basic power, exhaust Battlefield Awareness and discard the top of the encounter deck, I think Falcon might be able to use this with his defense as well. So let's flip over to hero form. I now get to see the top of the encounter deck. That's going to be a 1 boost. That's nice. So let's use a team building exercise and a counter from Falcon's Flock to get Red Wing out here. And then I'm going to use the other team building exercise and another counter from Falcon's Flock to play Battlefield Awareness. I don't really want to deal myself the Sinister Strike, but I'm okay with it being a 1 boost, so I'm just going to leave that there. So that's going to be the end of the players' turns, and this might work out horribly, but we shall see. So, let us draw back our hands of 5s, and we're getting close to the end of our decks, so we should probably try to finish this up sooner rather than later. Another Make the Call. Draw Their Fire. Here we go. Draw the Fire. Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay. Draw Their Fire is a great card. I love Draw Their Fire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for not Captain America. For Winter Soldier. And that's going to start the villain phase. They're going to get 3, so it's up to 19. And I don't actually have a counter that goes up to 19. So I guess I have to flip back to using this counter for the threat, unfortunately. Followed by first player is Bucky Barnes, so Fixer is going to attack Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier has 2 plus 3 HP left, so I can take this hit, so I will just take this hit. So Fixer is attacking for 1 plus 1, that's going to be 2 damage onto me, I'm up to 11. Followed by Citizen V attacking Falcon, and I'm at 6 out of 10. I don't really want to take this hit, so I guess Captain America will take this hit. So Captain America is going to block with his Tough, and that's going to boost, 3 boost, okay. Good thing Captain America blocked that. He does not have piercing, I believe. Yeah, Citizen's V sword does not give him piercing, so the toughness on Captain America goes away. And then we deal cards. So the first card goes to Bucky Barnes, second card goes to Falcon, third card goes to Bucky Barnes yet again. First card for Bucky Barnes is going to be Technological Innovation. When revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile for tech attachment and reveal it. Place 1 additional threat here for each tech card in play. Okay, so we're finally seeing Fixer do something. Citizen V Sword is not a tech card, and I guess I have to search for a tech card to reveal. I'm okay with giving him Tech Pack. Gives him +1 attack, +1 thwart, and +1 attack for every other tech attachment he has, but he has no other tech attachment, so this just gives him the +1 attack. I'm okay with that. And then place 1 additional threat here for each tech card in play, so that's going to be 1, so this comes into play with 5, and it has an acceleration icon, so we have to start thwarting. Second card for Winter Soldier is going to be Rumbling Thunder. When revealed, each player engages each minion engaged with the player clockwise from them, so I'm going to engage no one, and Fixer is going to engage Falcon, and this comes into play with 3, and it is also an acceleration icon. Oh, 3 per person. Never mind, so this comes into play with 6. Then we move on to Falcon's card. First card, well, the only card, hopefully, is Techno. When revealed, find Fixer and reveal him. Fixer activates against you. If no enemy activated this way, this card gains Surge. Fixer's already engages with me, so I can't use my target spotter. He also has 2 attack as opposed to 1, so I don't think I can take this hit. I could still defend this though. Even if he boosts for 3, I will take 2 damage, so I'll still be alive. Plus I could use the Vibranium Microwave to not take 1 of that damage. Sure. I would just defend this attack with Falcon, so Fixer's attacking for 2 plus 2. That's going to be 4. Minus 3 is 1. I'm exhausting the Microwave to prevent 1 of that damage and deal 1 damage to any target. That damage is going to be going on to Fixer. Luckily, that is the end of the villain stuff happening, so I believe now we do the Thunderbolt backup. Radioactive Man is going to swap with Fixer, putting Fixer in the Thunderbolt backup and healing 1 damage from Fixer, and that's going to flip the first player token to Falcon, so now it is Falcon's turn. I definitely want to play the Draws or Fire, so I'm going to use a team building exercise for that. This is an aerial card, so I can reduce the cost by 1 per player. Okay, so I'm going to use 1 counter from Falcon's Flock as well. And now I have the Draws or Fire out. As for the other stuff, I guess I should play Cloud9. I don't really want to play Resource Reserve. I would say I'd like to play Team Training, but I don't really seem to need it. Also, I get to see the top card of the encounter deck. That's a 2 boost. So let's do... does anyone have a stun or anything? What do I have? Clobber, Aggressive Conditioning, Metal Punch. Metal Punch can deal 8 damage. So if I can deal 5 more... No, Clobber can also... Clobber plus Metal Punch would take care of that by himself. Winter Soldier is not exhausted, so Winter Soldier can still attack. Okay. So I can just let Winter Soldier kill Radioactive Man, so I can just focus on thwarting. So how am I going to thwart? I have Cloud9 in my hand. I can exhaust Cloud9 to choose a player until the end of the phase. Each aerial character that player controls gets +1 thwart. So I can use another team building exercise, another counter from the Flock, and the Resource Reserve to play Cloud9, but then I won't have enough to play anything else, so you know what? I suppose I could use the Team Training, and then I could use the Make the Call to play Resource Reserve. I don't think that's a good call. It's probably not a great call. No, wait, no, I can use it to play Red Wing. Yeah, I can use it to play Red Wing again. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Team Building Exercise, Falcon's Flock, and Team Training to play Cloud9. Then I am going to have Red Wing come back into my hand, discarding the top of the encounter deck to thwart for 2. Then I'm going to use my Make the Call and the Resource Reserve to play Red Wing. I still get to see the top of the deck, and I could discard it if I want to. That's a 2 boost. I'm kind of okay with that, because Radioactive Man is going to be defeated. So once Radioactive Man is defeated, Citizen V is just going to activate against both of us. Captain America can jump block once, and... No, I'm going to use Draws or Fire, so I'm not going to take as much damage. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So in that case, I will now use Cloud9 to exhaust to give all my aerial characters +1 thwart, and then Red Wing is going to thwart the main scheme for 2. Thwarting it for 2 brings the main scheme down to 15. It's going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, bringing it up to 20, so I won't lose next round. Plus, I'm going to have Winter Soldier defeat an enemy, so it's going to bring it down to 13 instead. So yeah, that's going to be fine. That's going to be it for Falcon's turn. Now it is Captain America's turn. Not Captain America. It's going to be... Man, Winter Soldier's turn, but both of us are gonna get another encounter card, because we're both about to run out of cards. I mean, this is the ideal time to have Draws or Fire out, I suppose, so now I can just block everything that comes out, but at the same time, that's kind of scary, because if they scheme, I'm also gonna lose, so we gotta do stuff. What am I gonna do? So let's go. Okay, Radioactive Man has 13 HP left. That's all I gotta keep in mind. So Radioactive Man has 13 HP. Winter Soldier can attack with the Bambino and the Shield Sidearm, which should have 3 counters on it. I gotta keep that in mind. So if I attack for 2 plus 3, that's 5, plus 6, or plus 1, that's 6. 6 plus 5 is 11, so I need to deal 7 more damage, which can be done with Metal Punch. So if I use 2 for the Metal Punch, plus the Cybernetic Arm, I can't use Man on the Wall because I'm not engaged with a minion. Although I can engage a minion, if I just attack Radioactive Man, he will engage me. Then I can use Man on the Wall, plus Keep Up the Pressure, plus Clobber. No, Clobber plus the Cybernetic Arm. So these 3 will pay for Metal Punch, dealing 7 damage. After I attack, dealing 2 5, 6 damage. 6 plus 7 is 13, plus 5 is the 18. Okay, so that would defeat Radioactive Man. Then I have these cards to work with, and it won't be enough to play anything. Yeah, 2 cards left won't be enough to play the aggressive conditioning, unfortunately, so I think I'm going to use my Keep Up the Pressure instead. So let's do that. First, Winter Soldier is going to attack. I'm going to consume a counter from Bambino to increase the amount of damage this does by 3, and it gains overkill. And I'm going to use a shield sidearm counter to deal 1 additional damage as well. So 2, 5, 6 damage to Radioactive Man. This causes Radioactive Man to engage me. With Radioactive Man engaged with me, I'm going to use my Man on the Wall, my Cybernetic Arm, and my Clobber to pay for the Metal Punch. Deals 7 damage to an enemy. He's already at 11, so this will defeat the Radioactive Man. Technically, I also deal 1 more damage because of the Cybernetic Arm, but whatever. So Radioactive Man is now defeated, and he goes into victory display. When I defeat Radioactive Man, I'm going to use my, what's his name? Winter Soldier to remove 2 threats from a scheme. And then I can use Keep Up the Pressure to get this out. It comes into play with 2 per person, so that's going to come into play with 4. And I am somehow out of counters. Yeah, I have somehow run out of green counters, so I guess I'll just use a +1 counter. So this comes into play with 4. And then I'm going to use my aggressive conditioning to pay for the safe house number 30, because why not? I might as well. Okay, so that's going to be the end of the player's phase. Everything is going to unexhaust, and then we're all going to be dealt an encounter card because... Oh, but then that makes this the encounter card. When reviewed, each player engages the minion with... I mean, that's fine. So we are all going to be dealt an encounter card, and this will be one of them, and I'm kind of okay with that, because we can now start to rush down Citizen V. There's just a lot of stuff on the board. So, draw our hands of 5, Black Widow and Arm Block. Oh, I got my Arm Block too. Ooh. And my Flight Squadron, Spectrum, and Strength, nothing I care about in here. And then we shuffle both our decks. Alright, Winter deck is shuffled. Let us draw 3 more cards. We got our Clobber, Electrical Discharge, and Silent Infiltration. Okay, lots of cards I like to see. Followed by Falcon. Falcon draws 2 more cards, the Power of Flight and Soup Kitchen. Nothing I want to see in Falcon's hand. Excellent, just what I would hope for. So, main scheme now gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. It's up to 18. Oh, we also get dealt our face down cards. First one goes to me because I'm the first player at the moment. Second one goes to Winter Soldier. Citizen V... I am not engaged with a minion, so Citizen V is going to attack Falcon. I'm going to discard my Draws or Fire. After the villain phase begins, discard Draws or Fire. Falcon does not exhaust to defend until the end of the phase. So Citizen V is attacking for 3. I have 3 defense, so I just take damage equal to the boost. Yeah, I just take damage equal to the boost, so boosting for Star, take 2 indirect damage. Ooh, I can distribute this however I like. I'm going to put 2 of that on Cloud9, because ideally, Cloud9 would never actually take any damage from the consequential stuff, because I'm just going to exhaust Cloud9 to increase my thwarting. So that's going to be Citizen V's attack on Falcon. I took no damage from this. And then Citizen V is going to activate against Winter Soldier. I also do not have a Thunderbelt minion. So once again, Falcon is going to defend. He's attacking for a total of 4. I'm going to exhaust the Vibranium Microwave to prevent 1 of that damage and put 1 damage on to... You know what? At this point, we can just rush down Citizen V. So let's just put that damage onto Citizen V. So now we deal cards. I'm still the first player, so I get 1, then Winter Soldier gets 1, then I get 1. And now we reveal all of my cards. So first card is going to be the Coming Storm, which we already knew about. Each player engages the minion clockwise from them, but we have no minions to engage with us. This comes into play with 2 per person. I'm not even gonna bother putting a counter here. It's not gonna get thwarted. Second card is Down But Not Out. Choose a random Thunderbolt minion from the victory display and reveal it. Place damage on that minion until it has 5 hit points remaining. Then remove this card from the game. If no minion entered this way, this card gains Surge. Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? Alright, well, there's Blizzard and Radioactive Man, so let's just roll a dice. 1, 2, 3 for Blizzard, 4, 5, 6 for Radioactive Man. Roll the dice, and we rolled a 5, so that's going to be Radioactive Man, and they are going to come into play engaged with me. and they have damage until they have 5, so they come into play with 13 damage. And as for the final card, we have Techno, find Fixer and reveal him, and if he... don't really... No, I'm okay with that. So Fixer is now engaged with me as well, unfortunately. And we can no longer rush down Citizen V, but Fixer is going to attack. I'm still going to defend for free. So Fixer is attacking for 2 + 1. I take no damage from this. I have 3 defense. So that's going to be the end of revealing stuff for them. Now it is my turn. First card is Power of the Atom. Find Radioactive Man and reveal him. If he's already engaged with you, he activates against you. So he is going to come into play with me. And I am going to use a target spotter to prevent this damage, because I don't want Radioactive Man attacking, because then Captain America would also... Actually, you know what? Captain America can't take this hit. You know what? Screw it. I'll keep that around. I'll keep it around. So Radioactive Man is attacking for 2. I am still blocking with Falcon for 3, so he's attacking for 2 + star. After this activation resolves, place 1 pursuit counter on pursuit by the past. So this gets 1 more. And then I take no damage from this. There was no boost, so now both me and Captain America are going to take 1 damage, but I'm okay with that. The second card is going to be Tap In. Engage the Thunderbolt with the least damage that is not engaged with you. So that's going to be Fixer, and then Fixer is going to engage me. Jeez, this is brutal. Okay. It's a good thing Falcon can once again defend without exhausting, so 2 attack + star. After this resolves, place a counter on pursued by the past. So now that's up to 3, and I still take no damage because that's a no boost. I only take 2 hits. I have 3 defense. I take no damage. That is the end of the villain phase, and now I have to take care of these freaking minions again. No one is... Wait, who is on the Thunderbolt back of? 1, 2, 3... I'm fairly certain this should be a 1, so there is 13 on here and 13 on here. I get to choose which one goes on to the Thunderbolt backup. I'm going to put Fixer on the Thunderbolt backup. I'm okay with Fixer being around, because I don't want Radioactive Man to be around. If I want to kill someone, it's going to be Radioactive Man. And then Fixer is going to heal for 1. Now the first player token flips back over to me, and we can resolve killing Radioactive Man. Once again, we have to deal 5 damage. That's not going to be very hard. Let's just use 2 for the Silent Infiltration. After I attack and defeat an enemy, I can discard this card to ready your hero and confuse an enemy. And then I am going to use Winter Soldier to attack Radioactive Man, taking off another charge from Bambino, dealing a total of 5 damage, which will be enough to defeat Radioactive Man because they had 5 health left. Defeating Radioactive Man puts him back in the victory display, and I can remove 2 from the main scheme, which is at 16. It's going to get 5. It's going to go back up to 21, so that's technically okay for now-ish. Not really, though. You know what? While I'm attacking, I might as well use my shield sidearm to deal 1 more damage to someone. I'm going to deal that damage to Citizen V, and now I think I can just rush down Citizen V because I'm unexhausted by discarding my Silent Infiltration, and I get to confuse an enemy. I'm going to confuse Citizen V just in case they scheme. Okay. So Shield Sidearm did have to exhaust in order for me to use it, but Bambino does not. It does not say I have to exhaust it to do the 3 additional damage. So Winter Soldier is now going to attack Citizen V again, and I am not going to use anything for this, so it's going to be Winter Soldier, exhausted, plus the last counter on Bambino, which will discard it, but this still deals 3 additional damage. So that's going to be 5 more damage onto Citizen V. Captain America is also going to attack for 2, and that's going to bring him up to 9, as well as I'm going to use my Cybernetic Arm and my, Clobber, to pay for electrical discharge. I am going to use Cybernetic Arm as an energy to deal 5 damage because I use my arm. So base 4 plus 1, that's going to be 5 more, putting Citizen V up to 14 damage. And I think that's going to be the end of Winter Soldier's turn. So Citizen V can go up to 24 HP, so I need to deal 10 more damage with Falcon. Falcon is unexhausted. I can see the top of the encounter deck. I gotta keep that in mind. So what am I gonna do with Falcon? I have a bunch of resources and nothing I really want to play, so I think I'm just gonna use Red Wing over and over and over again. So let's do that. Let's have Red Wing come back into my hand and discard the top of the encounter deck to discard the top, or to deal 1 damage to Citizen V. And then I can use a Power of Flight to play Red Wing, and then I'm not going to discard the top of the deck because that is a 3 boost. Bring Red Wing back, discard the top, deal another 3 to Citizen V, putting him up to 18. And then I'm going to use my strength to play Red Wing again. What is the top of the encounter deck? The top of the encounter deck is 2. I might as well use this to also deal 2 more damage, putting him up to 22. Sorry, not 22, 20. So he's up to 20. Top of the encounter deck is a 2 boost. Let's use a team building exercise and Spectrum to play Red Wing. I am going to bring Red Wing back, discard the top, deal another 2 damage, and now Citizen V's up to 22. Top card is a 2 boost. Let's use another team building exercise. And Soup Kitchen to play Red Wing. And then bring Red Wing back, dealing another 2 damage, putting him up to 24. And the top of the deck is now 1 plus 2. Let us use Falcon's Flock, which will use the last counter on Falcon's Flock, and Flight Squadron to put out Red Wing one more time. Red Wing will... No, before I do that, Falcon is going to attack. Falcon is going to use the aerial... do I not have that upgrade? Oh, it's over here. It's going to use the Battlefield Awareness to discard the top of the encounter deck to add 2 to my attack for this, so that's going to be 4 damage, putting him up to 28, followed by me playing the Red Wing. What is the top of the deck? That is a 2. As I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, I can now return Red Wing one more time back to my hand and discard the top of the deck to deal 2 more damage, putting him up to 30 out of 24, and Citizen V is defeated. Okay, that worked out. The timing on that worked out just enough so that I could survive that one brutal turn where I got like 5 encounter cards and they were all like, this thing activates against you, this thing activates against you, this thing activates against you. That was brutal. However, because I had that one card from Falcon, Draw Their Fire. This is such a good card. I love this card. The fact that it is an upgrade is actually really, really good because it means I can use this during any turn. I can just keep this out here. And during that turn, I can defend without exhausting for the rest of the phase. That's so good. I love this card. So, this game took me about an hour and a half to play in real life, and it was a bit messy. I'm not sure that I would want to do this again. However, I did make it work in terms of getting everything to fit on screen, relatively it fits on screen, and in terms of just being able to play the game, like without having to overload my brain in terms of thinking about how I'm going to do all my turns and stuff. Like, it's not... The way that Marvel Champions works, you actually can play it two-handed relatively easily because you just go, okay, there's not a lot of planning ahead. You don't actually plan ahead for a lot of games. You kind of just play what's in your hand, and then you deal with what's on the board, and you sort of just go with it, right? There's not like, oh, I'm going to think 5 turns ahead, and then Falcon's going to do this, and then Winter Soldier's going to do this in 2 turns, and then that's going to end up being some massive thing that allowed us to win the game or whatever, right? Like in this game, I was just like, all right, what's in Winter Soldier's hand? Do Winter Soldier's turn. And then what's in Falcon's hand? Do Falcon's turn. Obviously, that would probably change based off the encounter that you're doing, and it won't always go this smoothly, but it worked out this time. So that's a good sign at least. So I'm not completely opposed to playing two-handed again, but there would have to be like demand for it. You would have to ask me to. So yeah, that's pretty much my stance on playing two-handed. As for Winter Soldier, as expected, very, very strong. Very, very, very strong. I don't think that he is so strong. I don't think he is Maria Hill strong. I think he's Tigra strong. So I do actually want to play Winter Soldier again. I'd have to think about what other aspects I could play him in, because he's so suited for aggression, obviously, thanks to his thing. But I'd have to see what else I could build with him. As for Falcon, great support character. Like I said, the Draw Their Fire, I completely lost the Draw Their Fire, but the Draw Their Fire, great support character. Also, you have your, what's it called? Aerial evacuations to change forms if the hero that you're defending also wants to actually change forms. Like, lots of utility there. If I was playing with a maybe She-Hulk or something who likes changing forms, changing back to Alter Ego 2 hero form, that would probably be good. If I'm playing with Tigra, so she could find a hunted, or if I'm playing with Bishop. If I'm playing with Bishop, he's probably good as well, because then you can search for a temporal card and just put it into his hand, and then that card could be something that you like need. So yeah, Falcon, great support character. I don't know how he would do solo. I feel like a lot of playing solo would just be playing Red Wing and putting him back into your hand over and over again, like I just did with this last turn. but we'd have to see. I'm also not sure what other aspects I can build Falcon with, because I looked through my collection for aerial cards, and pretty much the only aerial cards in my collection came from Wonder Man. So there are like no allies, there's like not that many events, there's like one thwart event, which is everywhere or something all at once or whatever. I'm not even sure that, no, you have to be aerial to play that. That's how that works. And there's not that much in terms of aerial support. And what's going to happen with the next wave? Like, with 3 waves currently, there's still no aerial support aside from Falcon. And then we move to the next wave, which is going to be Defenders, which definitely does not have aerial support. Like, I mean, you could try to argue that Daredevil sometimes is aerial, but that's not like... He's not going to be aerial, you know? I guess that canonically, Jessica Jones did have flight powers, so she might have some aerial support, but I really highly doubt it. I think they're going to lean towards the Netflix adaptation of Jessica Jones as to how they're going to portray her. So I don't think she's going to be aerial either. So basically no aerial support for this wave, or the next wave, or the previous 2 waves. So Falcon, I don't know what I'm going to do with him. So that kind of goes against the stance of like, hey, we are making standard environment, so you have your limited card pool and you have to like do cool stuff to figure out how you're gonna use these. And Falcon has no support, you know, so I don't know how I'm supposed to play Falcon in anything other than leadership in the current environment. As for the Citizen V villains, again, Fixer is not that great in Citizen V. However, like I said, might be cool mixing in some modular encounter sets with other tech cards in Iron Man. I'm gonna have to give this a shot. Radioactive Man is scary. I don't want to deal with Radioactive Man, and Blizzard is cool. I like the encased in ice. I like the theme of it, or like how thematic it is. I don't think it's the strongest bad effect in the world as far as Blizzard attacking and putting that onto you, because even if Blizzard were to put that onto Falcon, I would have been like, sure, cool, whatever. I'll just let Winter Soldier do the work, right? In single player, obviously, it's a bigger deal. In multiplayer, I think it's a fine effect. You could probably just play around it by being like, I'm going to attack Blizzard, Blizzard engages me, and now I'm the one getting the encased in ice. But then there are obviously the cards that will find Blizzard and have Blizzard activate against you, the whiteouts. So that is something to keep in mind, I guess. But yeah, Blizzard is cool. Fixer is cool in other sets, probably. I had fun playing Citizen V two-handed for once. I got to see how it actually works with the minions engaging other people and being like, haha, we're now doing stuff, right? That's pretty cool. I think if I were to play this game multiplayer, if I managed to convince some people to play with me, I would probably start with, or not start with Citizen V, but after a tutorial fight of against Unis, probably, I would probably be like, okay, so this is the Citizen V fight, we do some cool stuff, this is like how different the encounter could be as opposed to Unis, right? As far as Falcon's Nemesis set goes, I think this is actually a pretty cool idea. Not the advertisement, the Serpent Solutions. After a Serpent Society minion is discarded from the top of the encounter deck, deal that minion to the first player as a face-down encounter card. Ooh, did I do that? I might have accidentally done that with Falcon, discarding a Serpent Society minion and not remembering that it... No, I don't think I forgot to do that. I don't think I did that wrong. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. But yeah, if you were to... Yeah, because then if you were to do, let's say, Claw, if Falcon was fighting Claw, you could discard the top of the encounter deck to search for a... No, Claw doesn't work, because he doesn't use 2 modular encounter sets. If you were doing something else that would make you discard the top of the encounter deck, the Serpent Soldiers could become face-down encounter cards. They have Quick Strike, so when they're revealed, they would attack you. Kind of an annoying thing. Seems like a fun thing that could happen. This could just be a standard encounter, like modular encounter set. I could see that happening. Serpent Solutions would probably have to be a permanent card and have some other effect that would encourage you to thwart it out, but yeah. Anyways, that is it from me in this video. Hopefully I will see you next time. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next time. Probably going to go back to some X-Men stuff, doing some stuff that I said I was going to try to do. But we shall see. Let me know if you want to see more two-handed gameplay. I don't know why you would, but if you do, let me know. And hopefully I will see you next time. Goodbye.